Broken bones, torn muscles, fractured spines, dislocations, separations. If you aren't willing to risk it all, then do not try any of these sports. Whenever the whistle blows, adrenaline overloads. It's a race to the finish line, but death may arise. Get ready as Rank Express presents to you the top 10 extreme sports thrills. Before the game starts, kindly like and subscribe to the channel. And without ado, here we go. Skydiving could be fun and at the same time deadly. All it takes is a little issue with your chute. Skydiving is an extreme sport that involves the transition from a high point in the atmosphere to the ground or ocean surface with the aid of gravity. It's known worldwide. However, skydiving has never been in the Olympic Games, but was present in the World Games from 1997 to 2017. Next up is a sport that involves more diving and no parachuting. Scuba diving. The name scuba is an acronym for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Scuba diving is a mode of underwater diving whereby divers use breathing equipment that is completely independent of a surface air supply, and therefore has a limited but variable endurance. A scuba diver primarily moves underwater by using fins attached to the feet, a mask to improve underwater vision, and a diving suit and ballast weights to overcome excess buoyancy. This is a sport that involves discovery. The current scuba depth record is held by Ahmed Gabr of Egypt, who reached a depth of 1,090.4 feet in the Red Sea in 2014. Enough of diving, let's go climbing. Only one common question is always asked. What if he falls? Free solo climbing or free soloing is a form of rock climbing, where the climbers or free soloists climb the rocks alone, without ropes or other protective equipment, using only their climbing shoes and chalks. Free soloing is the most dangerous form of climbing, and unlike bouldering, free soloists climb above safe heights where a fall can be fatal. This sport is so extreme that there are very few free soloists in the world. Most popular among them are Alex Honnold, Hans-Jörg Auer, Alexander Huber, and Peter Croft, to name a few. Next up is an extreme sport that beats the laws of gravity. Hang gliding is that one sport you find cool watching, but would piss your pants off if you try. Hang gliding is an air sport or recreational activity in which a pilot flies a light, non-motorized, heavier-than-air aircraft called a hang glider. Most modern hang gliders are made of an aluminium alloy or composite frame, covered with synthetic sailcloth to form a wing. Typically, the pilot is in a harness, suspended from the airframe, and controls the aircraft by shifting body weight, in opposition to a control frame. Hang gliding is one of the competition categories in the World Air Games. Aggressive inline skating. This is one sport that is so extreme it was named aggressive. Aggressive inline skating is a sub-discipline of inline skating in the action sports canon. The skates are specifically modified to accommodate grinds and jumps. Aggressive skating can take place on found street obstacles or at skate parks. Governed by World Skates, the sport, which was first organized in the 1990s, requires just one piece of equipment, called aggressive inline skates, and can be done both outdoors and indoors. The sport was present at the X Games from 1995 to 2004. However, the World Roller Games picked up in 2017 and is still present to date. Next up is a sport that gives goosebumps just from watching it. Mountain biking. When there are mountains and bikes, you know there is no safety. Mountain biking is a sport of riding bikes off-road, often over rough terrain, with the use of specialty designed bikes known as mountain bikes. These mountain bikes are similar to other bikes, but they have unique features designed to enhance durability and performance in rough terrain, such as air or coil spring shocks used as suspension, larger and wider wheels and tires, stronger frame materials, and mechanically or hydraulically actuated disc brakes. The sport was first played in the 1970s and was included in the Olympics in 1996 and has been in the Games ever since. Coming up is a certain unique sport. Those that participate in it are purely entertainers. Freestyle Motocross, also known as FMX, is a variation on the sport of motocross, in which motorcycle riders attempt to impress judges with jumps and stunts. There are two main types of freestyle events, called Big Air and Freestyle Motocross. The Big Air, which is also called the Best Trick, is the event in which each driver gets 2 jumps from a dirt-covered ramp. The Freestyle Motocross is an event in which riders perform 2 routines, each lasting between 90 seconds and 14 minutes. The panel of judges score riders based on variations over jumps, style, trick difficulty, and originality. Next up is a sport many think the players are superheroes. Base jumping is the recreational sport of jumping from fixed objects, using a parachute to descend safely to the ground. The word base is an acronym for the fixed objects one jumps from: buildings, antenna, which refers to radio masts, spans, which are bridges, and earth, which depicts cliffs. Players exit from a fixed object such as a cliff, and after an optional freefall delay, deploy a parachute to slow their descent and land. Carl Bunish's 1984 leap from Trollvegen, that is Trollway in Norway, was the first listed base jumping record in the Guinness World Records. Next up is a sport that involves axes and a whole lot of uncertainty. Ice climbing. How do you climb ice? By hitting it continuously with axes. Ice climbing is an extreme sport that involves ascending routes consisting of frozen water. To ascend the route, the ice climber uses specialist equipment, particularly double ice axes and rigid crampons. To protect the route, the ice climber uses steel ice screws that require skill to employ safely and rely on the ice holding firm in any fall. Ice climbing routes can vary significantly by type and include seasonally frozen waterfalls, high, permanently frozen alpine couloirs, and large ice daggers. The International Climbing and Mountaineering Federation, UIAA, has organized and regulated the sport of ice climbing competition since 2002, when the very first Ice World Cup took place. Lastly, and what some may call the most extreme sport, imagine being on top of a volcano for the sake of a sport and then it erupts. Volcano boarding or volcano surfing is a sport performed on the slopes of a volcano. One of the most popular places for the activity is the Cerro Negro, near Leon in western Nicaragua. Riders hike up the volcano and slide down, sitting or standing on a thin plywood or metal board. Volcano boarding is practiced on Mount Yasser on Tanah, Mount Bromo in Indonesia, and very few other locations. Potential dangers include falling and getting cut by the rough volcanic ash, breathing poisonous gases, and contracting histoplasmosis, otherwise known as Caver's disease, or worse, being hit by flying molten lava. The world's most extreme sports. Whoever created these games should be among the most dangerous men ever. Did you enjoy this video? Kindly like and subscribe to the channel and turn on that notification bell to be alerted when the next video uploads. Till then, wear your helmets and be safe.